Hey everyone, welcome to From the Depths. I'm Minty, and this is episode 85 of the Battleship Brawls Season 4 tournament. In this episode, we've got the St. Augustin by Shieldmate going up against the CSBIV by Drawaway. CSB4E, I guess? I'm just going to call it that. But, you know, call it the CSB for short. We've seen both of these ships in battle already, so let's go ahead and get right into the fight. See how things go. See that absolute hail of gunfire from the St. Augustin. Oh, CSB shells falling short. The St. Augustin is sailing backwards. Oof, taking some hits there. But looks like the CSB's guns didn't do a terribly large amount of damage. We already know what's happening over here at the CSB. There's too many shells to not take significant damage. Though a lot of them are missing. Probably only getting about a 50% hit rate there. That was actually quite a few missed shots. CSB getting pounded on pretty well. Ooh, listing heavily all of a sudden. Maybe not all of a sudden, maybe it's been doing it for a while and I just now noticed that. That is entirely possible. St. Augustin at 99.4%, the CSB at 92%. CSB is weathering the storm from the St. Augustin rather well. The St. Augustin is weathering the return fire even better. So, things do not seem to be going very well for the CSB. And there are a lot of hits. But again, individually, the guns on the St. Augustin are not particularly strong. There's just a lot of them. So as you can see on a ship that's got some decent armor, like the CSB, like it's not the most heavily armored ship in the tournament by any means, but it's definitely not cardboard either. And it is taking the hits fairly well. I mean, the amount of hits it's taking and the amount of damage it's taking is you know, it's doing pretty well, all things considered. I mean, it's still getting like absolutely slammed and torn apart. But just imagine what one of the more heavily armored ships would be like against the St. Augustin. So many shells are bouncing off the top of the heavy armor on the turret caps. It's kind of funny, ricocheting off. The CSB has closed the distance quite a bit, and if it had any weapons, it would probably be able to do something significant at this sort of range. But I think all of its weapons have been destroyed and it's been turned into a burning wreck that, you know, it's still technically afloat, but not really doing a whole lot anymore. Like it might just be me. So, I mean, obviously I do have a little bit of a bias towards it, but I kind of want to see how a battle between the St. Augustin and the Johnny Gipia would go. Maybe I'll do that for a bonus battle while we're waiting for the last results of the tournament to come in. But there we go. The St. Augustin has 80% and sunk the CSB. That is the end of round 1. Victory for the St. Augustin. But alright, there we go. Get things set up for round 2, get it underway, get those shots firing. See, the St. Augustin firing second is actually pretty helpful for it here, because all that recoil shoves it back so far that most of the initial volley from the CSB misses. And they aren't low velocity guns on the CSB either. The St. Augustin's actually lower velocity. It has to fire at a much higher arc in order to reach the target. CSB taking several hits. Ooh, it lost a turret here. Having a turret cap popped off is never good. Especially you see all that armor in there that's meant to protect it, still intact. That points to a design flaw in the cap's design. Yes, a design flaw in the design, because I'm redundant like that. It's just an absolute swarm of shells. If the guns on the CSB were as durable as the hull, it might be able to do a little bit better. The guns would need to be more durable and pack a little bit more punch, I think. But as it stands, the CSB does a pretty good job of preventing itself from being destroyed, but doesn't do a good job of keeping itself active and, capable of fighting back. The ship as a whole gets disabled pretty quickly and easily by the just hail of gunfire. Oh, yep, see, that last gun just took that hit there. And done it is. See, if its guns could survive until it gets close, it might be able to do a little bit more. If it could, I don't know, maybe get close, get around the St. Augustin. I don't think the St. Augustin is just not a fast vessel. Fast or all that maneuverable. I think it would be possible to get around it. Now, the CSB is just taking forever to die this time. I think it technically lasted longer in the first match, but it's gotta be like just 1 meter above 80% sinking at this point. So the deck is completely beneath the water. The only thing that isn't superstructure that is above the water line are turret caps and like barbettes. How is that not 80% sinking? There it is. So that is the end of this match, folks. The St. Augustin is victorious. And that will be the end of this match. A little bit of an announcement. The tank tussle rules. Well, first of all, the next tournament I'm going to do is a tank tournament. The rules are more or less finalized. I might make some small tweaks here and there, based upon if we discover something that's like maybe a bug or just something that's really broken and OP and cheesy or something. You know, I might make minor tweaks, but the rules are more or less set. I've got them pinned to the Tourney Rules discussion chat on my Discord, so if you want to check that out and participate in the next tournament, which is, like I said, going to be tanks, go ahead and hop on the Discord and check those rules out and get building. Otherwise, make sure you also do the Hall of Beauty votes. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the battlefield.